Um, hey, it's the Boxing Learner, and today I'll be talking about the subject of Teofimo Lopez Jr. As you all know, I'm a big Teofimo Lopez fan, and his actions during the fight of the Teofimo Lopez versus George Kambosos Jr., he showed that he was not preparing, that he didn't take George serious, he didn't study his opponent. You know, those are the things that really cost him this fight. Guys like Tony Reviews didn't believe that he didn't have anything there was no way he could have won this fight. I'm not so sure, but maybe that's just me and my bias. But Teofimo Lopez, I will talk about Teofimo Lopez as a fighter first. Teofimo Lopez, you are a limited fighter, and I was one of the guys that got me into boxing because I love your style. Very fan friendly, very cool, good counters. Seem to have decent athletic ability. I love the backflips you used to do, but you're not very good at leading. You're not very good at pressuring the opponent. For some reason, in the fight against George Kambosos Jr., your jab, for whatever reason, was not there. You don't have good feet. You can't move around the ring like George Kambosos Jr. can or Lomachenko. You got okay speed when it comes. You got good counterpunching speed. You're an okay counterpuncher, and your Philly shell. You use the Philly shell too much, and you don't know the limitations of the Philly shell. You need a high guard. You need to put your hands up. You need a lot of things. You need to learn how to become an inside fighter. If you ever see this, I'll put a comment under your Twitter post. I don't even know if you even wrote that comment, to be honest with you. Probably a PR team. But as a fighter, offensively, you need to have a jab, perhaps multiple different variants of the jab, an up jab, spear jab, a rangefinder, get some more feints in your game, learn when to use the shoulder roll and when not to use the shoulder roll, get a high guard, learn how to stalk on know how to pressure your fighter and cut off the ring if you want to lead, and learn how to defend against the overhand right and the left hook, because according to what you need, those are the punches that are vulnerable to guys who use the shoulder roll. And now I want to talk to you as a character, your character. This is Teofimo as a person, as a character. Teofimo, man, I want to say this first and foremost. I'm no longer a fan of you. I'm no longer a fan. And people say, well, you should stick by their fighters. I disagree in this case because you've shown me that you're just not championship level material. You're not respectable. You're not a respectable person. You've been very arrogant. You've been very egotistical. You and your dad. I'll talk about him later. You just been very, very saying all types of things that don't make sense. You've shown delusion. You've shown a whole bunch of arrogance. You've shown disrespectfulness, but it just reached the boiling point with what you said after the fight. You interrupted George Kambosos Jr. and said that you won the fight 10-2. I think you originally said 11-2. Man, you really lost a lot of respect. And I know people say you shouldn't care about what people think, but you should care about yourself. The way you treat yourself, the way you conduct yourself should be appropriate. And that wasn't the case, Teofimo. And I gotta say, it sucks because you're the one that really, really propelled me to really get into this boxing. And I guess it'll help me grow as a fan of the sport. But until further notice, until you become a better fighter and a better person, I think you need to become a better person first. and then become a better fighter second. So this is what I think you should do next as a former fan that really, really liked you. And you know what? I wasn't a very good fan. I saw you change, and I didn't really say anything. I didn't really make a lot of content about your character. And, it sucks that I did that after the fact. Even though I used to love watching your interviews until after you beat Lomachenko. Then it just became like, man, you're so cringy, you're so arrogant, you're so kind of annoying, you're so obnoxious, you're so, you just act immature. And I think that's one of your weaknesses. I think, like I said, these are your weaknesses right now in your character. You're immature, you're very, very arrogant, you're very, very egotistical, you're somewhat disrespectful, and you're delusional. Those are the 5 things that you really need to work on. So as your next thing, I think you should seek help, mental help, psychological help. I think you should get help. I think you should. Someone in your family should take you to a psychiatrist. Just send a psychiatrist all the interviews that you've been saying, or that you've been talking in the past, 12 months, because they'll see what's wrong with you and they'll be able to help you get through it. And as for and then come back and learn some new skills, because if you're going to 140, those guys are going to be bigger than you, and you need some new skills. You need a high guard. You need to be able to counter off your high guard. You need to get on the inside. You have no inside. What you need also believes you can be a very good fighter. I'm gonna leave a list of fighters that I've listened, a list of YouTube channels that I listen to that been the scripting that you could learn from if you watch their videos. So yeah, man. Your father. This is the last segment of this video. Teofimo Lopez's father. I think you need to get away from this man. This man is very, very egotistical, very, very delusional. He's not a real trainer. I think you can't. I was listening to Maestro A Boxing, another great channel, and he said that his wife was watching the fight, and he believes that you really got here by yourself, that your father really didn't help you, and that you can be a very good athlete. And maybe there is truth to that, but I believe that first you need to get your mental right, like I said before. And this is going to be a very, very hard climb up. Okay, if you do get the help you need, when you need to get rid of your dad. You need to find new people, find new coaches. Perhaps Joy Gamache, Good for Sports TV even recommended that you go down to Panama to learn from the great Roberto Duran. Maybe even some Julio Cesar Chavez. Because you're framed, I don't think you'd be able to do all the things that Devin and Shakur and George Kambosos Jr. can do. And, just get rid of your dad. Get rid of your dad. You don't have to get rid of him permanently. Maybe he can be in the background. Make him a background dude. And get guys like Joy Gamache, maybe Birdie McGirt, maybe, I don't know, the guy who you were training with to help you on your defense as your main coach. But get somebody and get rid of your dad. Don't even make him the assistant coach. You don't need to be hearing him in the corner. Like, go in there and beat this guy up. Oh, finish this guy already, but take your time. He's sending mixed messages to you. I've never fought before, so I don't know how much the corner can really help. But, and last but not least, I think being a father will help you grow as a person. Maybe it'll help you, get some values. I think you're a shitty person, personally. I don't know you personally, but from the way you conducted yourself, knockouts with Naya. I think says you showed yourself as a piece of shit, and I can't disagree with you. I don't even think you deserve sympathy. I was one of those guys when you lost, like, oh, you can come back, but it's true you can, but you have a long road, man. You have a long road because of the problems that you have, and it's hard to root for you, but I do believe in redemption. But it's going to be a long road for you. I don't like you anymore, personally. I still like your style a little bit, but I think you need huge improvements to be a truly elite fighter, like I've said before. And you just got a lot of hate in the community because that's what you put out. You put out things that are hate-worthy. And what can I say? I've already talked about you as a fighter, as a person, from at least the person you've shown us in public. Try to get a good family life. I think, like I said, I believe being a father will help you prioritize your values and make you force you to grow up. Because, like I said, you're immature, and maybe being a father maybe that's the way God's gonna help you. I probably shouldn't, wish for you to get better, but I do want you. I'm like good true school sports. I'm a half guy, half full guy, glass half full guy. So I think I hope you do become a better person. I hope you learn from this. I hope you become a better fighter because I think boxing could benefit from you. I think you could give us all some great memories if you come back as a better person and a better fighter. And, I think you could be a learning lesson to many fighters growing up because you grew up in the internet area where boxing is in its early ages or the internet, really. And you could possibly, help those fighters that are coming up or even help other people who are coming up, being exposed to the internet, being able to get all their interviews in an instant online. Like I said, I hope you become a better person, better fighter. I'm no longer a fan. I don't know if you could ever win me over, but I think it's more importantly that you get yourself right. Get your career together, and that's more important. Make sure you're okay, and I think the other stuff will follow. So if you watch this video, I know you're not gonna watch it, but there's some people who have talked about you that I think you should listen to them. I'll put it at the end of the video, and as us boxing learner, and I'm out.